Ladies and gentlemen, today we're going to be reviewing my IXS Trigger full face helmet. In this review, I'm going to cover three main points. We're going to talk about the price. Then we're going to talk about what the helmet comes with, all its features, all the cool things that it has. And then lastly, we're going to be talking about my overall opinion on the helmet and what I think of it, how I like it, etc, etc. Starting off, these goggles obviously don't come with the helmet. These are some Fly goggles. I picked them up on Amazon for about 40 bucks, I want to say. I've been in love with them. They fit nicely on my helmet. Highly recommend these goggles. So with that being said, I made the purchase of the goggles separately from the helmet. Now the helmet itself cost me about $285 after everything. I got it on Amazon and it took about like 2 weeks to get to my house. I'll put a link in the description of the goggles and the helmet so you guys can check it out and get a little bit more info on the gear that I'm rocking on my head. When you pay the $285, you get the helmet itself, and you also get a really cool helmet bag to store your helmet. It's like a mesh bag and it has a strap that you can close it. It also comes with your manual for the helmet, a set of cheek pads for the helmet in case you wear out the ones that already come with it, and then just some Velcro straps for the pads inside the helmet. And that's pretty much it. So that's what you get when you pay the $285. And I know it is a steep price for a helmet, at least it was for me, because my first helmet I paid around 70 bucks and it was a half show, and I still have that helmet. I love it. It does the job and it still puts in work. But the reason I pulled the trigger on this helmet was because it's one of the lightest helmets on the market. The weight of this helmet is 595 grams, which if you convert it to pounds, comes out to about 1.3 pounds, which is extremely light. And I can tell you from experience that whenever I have this thing on my head, it feels like a feather, which is one of the many reasons why I went with this helmet. So with that being said, I want to jump into the outside features of this helmet and give you a rundown of what it has. Starting with the outside of the helmet, as you can see, we have a visor, and this visor is adjustable. There's one setting where you have it down, which is like so, and then you can pop it up like that. And when you pop it up, you can actually put your goggles in this little spot, and they sit pretty well when you're not riding. But for the most part, I usually just keep this visor down and I keep my goggles in place. And whenever I'm not riding downhill, I just usually keep the helmet on top of my head and it sits there, it doesn't get in the way. And then whenever I want to descend, I put the helmet down and the goggles are still in place. Also on the helmet, there is a good amount of ventilation. I don't sweat as much as I thought I would be sweating in this full face. It's actually really nice when you're descending. You just feel all the air just going into your head, and it's not as bad as I thought it was gonna be. I mounted a GoPro Mount on the side of my helmet, and that's where I get a majority of like my POV footage because it's vertical, so I can use it for like social media. I put another mount on the bottom near my chin, and I didn't use any glue or anything like that. I literally just used the GoPro mount. I basically just cleaned the bottom of this and then stuck the mount, and it's been solid ever since. I don't use this mount as often. I stick to the chest mount. But in case of an emergency or like I can't use my chest mount, this does come through. I feel pretty confident that it's not gonna fall off. It's been through a lot. I've ridden some pretty gnarly trails with the chin mount and I haven't had any issues. So I thought that was really cool of this helmet, that it has a flat surface on the bottom of the chin so you can actually mount your GoPro. The back of the helmet has a nice set of grooves that keep your goggles strap in place so they're not sliding up and down. Now that we've covered the outside of the helmet, I want to cover the inside of the helmet. First thing I want to talk to you guys about in regards to the inside of the helmet is this strap. It's a magnetic strap that secures really well, and the cool thing is you can dismount it and mount it with one hand versus like a traditional buckle. You really need two hands to really click them into place. With this setup, I've noticed that I've I've gotten really good at just doing it with one hand. And to be quite honest, it feels just as secure as your traditional buckle. And it has a pad on it along with the strap to adjust it. You then have the Cheekbone Pads. These, you get a replacement set as I showed you earlier when you buy this helmet. I've had this thing for about 6 months and these pads still look in good shape, and I ride quite a lot. I ride about 2 to 3 times a week. In the inside you can see the size of this helmet. I'm rocking a small, which is a 54 to 58 centimeter in size, and this is a pretty cool feature because you can get it really tight to where it doesn't move on your head, and then once you're done with the ride you just loosen it. It's quick and it's fast, which I love that. You got some more padding on the top part of this helmet. The biggest thing I love about the padding, both on the top and on the side, is that it's not too thick to the point where it makes your head feel tight and stuffy. So it's a perfect size, or a perfect thickness, I would say. And that pretty much wraps up both the inside and the outside of the helmet. Now we jump in to number 3, my overall opinion about this helmet. I am a huge fan of everything that this helmet has to offer. I think it's a great investment, especially because personally it's boosted my confidence. Knowing I have full coverage on my face really gives me that confidence I need whenever I'm descending down a trail or a mountain. It is money well spent. You get really good quality. The build of this is amazing. It's almost like having a half shell helmet with the safety of a full face, obviously. I really wanted to put this helmet to the test. That's why I waited this long to do a review on it. I wasn't sure if I was gonna be a fan of it. And I feel like within these 6 months, I was really able to get a feel of what this helmet was about. And I put it to the test. I went riding with it. I take it to bike parks. I hit all the trails in SoCal, and I have yet to be disappointed. And to be quite honest with you, the goggle and helmet setup have been phenomenal. I find it really hard for me to go back to a half shell helmet. Granted, I do have my half shell helmet still, and I use it whenever I do really chill rides, like I go to the beach, or I do really mellow rides, right? But for the most part, I always have this thing strapped on. It's my go-to helmet, and I think it will be my go-to helmet for the rest of the year. But that pretty much wraps up this review. I talked about price. I explained to you the features and everything that it came with, and then gave you my overall opinion of this helmet. I hope you guys found this video helpful. If you have any questions, feel free to drop them down in the comments below, and I'll try to answer it as best as I can. And that is gonna wrap up this video, but I'll catch you on the next one. Peace.